Retards are the only guys who actually have the ability to overcome lust. And if you give me just a few minutes, I'm going to explain to you exactly why this is the case. I spent a lot of time over the past few years now as being somebody who's practiced semen retention for over 2 years now, right? Something that a lot of guys just cannot claim that statement, right? But honestly, at this point, I think I've really tried to lazy max as much as I can with how I actually go about this process of overcoming the struggle, because like the guys who are very much over intellectualizing this stuff, where they're always trying to come up with a new routine, coming up with a new habit tracker, downloading these different apps, and trying to reinvent themselves over and over again. They're just overthinking this stuff way too much. But the reality is, like, those habit trackers, those apps aren't actually going to change anything for you, because you're still operating in the same person, in the same nervous system, who's still struggling, who's still addicted to this lust. So it doesn't matter if you have a new routine, if you have a new app, a new habit tracker, when your mind is still operating the same way and your brain is saying, yo, I want this dopamine, bro. Like, give me some of that, right? And just coming to the realization, bro, like, lust, honestly, is not anything to do about the sex. What it actually is just you forgetting yourself, forgetting your masculinity, forgetting who God made you to be. And that energy has to go somewhere, because society has done such a job, the system has done such a job of taming men and keeping them down to the point where they can, go to work and do that fine, all that stuff. And they're comfortable doing that, but they're sedated to the point where they don't want to rise back. And anything that's rising up, anything that's, out of the norm, anything that's masculine, really, truly fighting back, standing for truth, and, being willing to fight over things sometimes, it just gets labeled as toxic, or you get labeled as having ADHD, all of these crazy things, right? But the reality is that somewhere along the way, society, your family, your upbringing, and maybe even your circle of friends taught you to forget who you were, taught you to forget your masculinity. And that's why the struggle with lust is happening. It's not because you don't have a good enough routine. It's not because you don't have a good enough habit tracker. Or if you just white knuckled your way hard enough for 6 months, if you just put everything into it. Like, I genuinely don't think I use willpower anymore to this point. Hardly at all. I still get urges all the time. But honestly, bro, I do not use willpower whatsoever to overcome this stuff. Just because I've taken on the conqueror identity, bro. I just believe myself to be above that. Like, I believe myself to be the kind of person who doesn't need lust, just because of the fact that I know who I am as a son of God. Just read Ephesians 1. But when society has taught us to forget our masculinity, to forget who we are, when we suppress that about ourselves, that's not going away. That energy has to be directed somewhere. That masculine energy has to be going somewhere. And that's when it shows up in the fantasy, because you're not expressing your authentic masculinity. And so now you're needing to outsource it in pornography and pretending to be the guy having sex with a girl on camera, right? You take yourself into that role of being that guy, thinking of yourself doing that deed, right? But you're watching another guy have sex with a woman, which is gay. And so the reality with this is, like, you got to learn to start saying no. You got to start taking risks. You just got to go up to the girl, right? And just talk to her without having any intentions behind it. Just start conversations with random people. Bro, I'm an introvert and I approach waitresses, girls, I DM girls all the time. And I start random new conversations with random new people all of the time. And this is why only retards will actually be able to be the ones who overcome lust, is because you're just not thinking about these things too much. You're just in your masculine naturally without really overthinking these things. And when you have that healthy expression of your masculinity, of your courage, you don't need to outsource that into the pornography. You don't need to spend time in the fantasies and all up in the thoughts because you're living it out in reality. So yeah, I don't actually think lust has anything to do with these habit trackers or anything. I've watched countless people try to reinvent themselves over and over again, and it's like hard to watch and sad to say, I'm pretty sure this is going to fail, but you don't need to reinvent yourself, bro. You just need to remember who you always were and to embrace some of that goofiness, embrace some of the eros, embrace some of the confidence and the flirtation, some of the goofiness, just being weird, authentically being yourself. Like, girls love that stuff. Even if they think it's kind of weird, like, they still love it when you're being weird, bro. When I was in high school, I would literally do the stupidest of stuff. The first girlfriend that I ever had, I was like, I didn't know how to dance, bro. And I'm at the school dance and just having fun with my best friend, right? And we're literally just jumping around like stupid. Like, we don't actually even know how to dance, but we're just jumping up and going crazy to this music. I thought this girl, I thought her brother who was with her, I thought that was her boyfriend. So I just totally ignored her this whole time while we're in kind of this circle of friends and stuff. And I just ignored her. And then all of a sudden she like ends up approaching me afterwards. Or I had the same thing later in like early college, bro, where this girl, I would just do all this dumb stuff in class, bro. Like, I was just mad goofy, bro. I would roll around all over the ground. We played like this dart game where you would like try to shoot your buddies before they blocked it. It was like this kind of trend. Or we played like the circle trend where you try to get each other to look at this below the waist. We did all sorts of stupid stuff and just totally dumb, numbskull, caveman type activities. And this girl, she likes me, bro, because like, I mean, I guess some of the status and people thinking me hilarious as like the class clown and stuff and being goofy, but also being really good at stuff. And I think that's part of it too, is having a good balance between actually being competent, having like actually quality good skills. Like, I was really good, got good grades and really great at sports and stuff, but also was willing to embrace some of that eros, some of that just goofy energy, the feminine energy almost in a sense, the flirtatiousness, flirting with life. And that's why I think that if you can actually start to caveman max and start acting a little bit more like a retard in your life and stop intellectualizing everything, that's when you're probably actually going to start seeing transformation you're going to look for. And you're not even going to have to worry about lust as much because you get to live these things out with a real beautiful woman in reality. So hope this one has been a blessing for you guys. I know this is way different from the normal stuff that I do, but this is a side of myself that I've been hoping to share with you guys. And a side of myself that I'm really hoping to share with this community of guys we're hoping to have very soon here. So stay blessed. Memento mori. Remember that you could die. Why not incorporate this stuff today? You could literally die tomorrow. So we'll see you on the next one. Peace.